Or what? Did you use the word live? What does that mean?
I'm just kidding.
What?
I'm kidding.
Better be.
So I have a cam recording me, then a cam recording both of us.
Okay.
Because I might repurpose this and make short form content out of it.
You might repurpose it and do what?
Make short form content out of it.
Oh, I hear ya. Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
Hello. Okay, so you want to hold the mic like 3 inches from your mouth, like a fist length away.
Like this?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, just like, I'd say hold it like this. This is a good length to hold a mic from. Like, hold it like...
Put it, no. Put it where you want it.
Okay.
My hand, move my hand.
Just like, that's good.
Okay. That's what
Because we still want to see your face. You can have it low. Ish. Okay, now we can start, I suppose.
All right.
Welcome to podcast. I don't need to introduce anything. I don't have any special intro.
Okay.
Okay, the first topic I do have listed down is nutrition. I guess we can implement some ideas.
Nutrition for who?
Just health. What how can you start eating healthy?
How can I start
How
eating?
how can somebody start eating healthy if they're not used to it? If they're like used to eating trash all day.
This is my opinion. You should get rid of anything that's in a box. Or or sugar. Get rid of sugar out of your life. If I could think of one thing. Do your best.
Speak louder. Speak normal. Just don't forget that we're being recorded. Just speak louder.
Oh, well, this is how I speak, so I'll speak louder, though.
Okay.
I would say get rid of all the sugar you can from your diet. If they've never done anything, sugar is bad for you.
Okay, sugar.
Yes.
So,
natural sugar in berries and things like that. If you have to keep sugar, I would say do it through foods, but don't put excess sugar in anything. Don't put extra sugar in anything. It's actually poison to your body. Cancer feeds on sugar.
Okay.
Think of it that way.
But I feel like most of the stuff we have these days has sugar and it's hard to avoid necessarily. How?
If it's processed, yes. So don't eat processed food. Fix your own. Cook. Be your own chef. Cook your own food. Don't add sugar. If it has to be a sweetener, then do it naturally. Add figs. Add something that already is a sweet food.
Okay.
As much as possible. It's impossible to do it 100%. As much as you can, reduce your sugar intake. And that includes carbohydrates. Because carbohydrates are bread, rice,
Okay. So what should you be eating then instead of sugar? What is healthy?
Meat, although people
How
would
much
say...
meat? How much meat?
Well,
how much of your diet should be meat?
I've come to change my opinion about meat. Good meat. When I say meat, I mean grass-fed beef, grass-fed meat. Whatever animal eats grass and not fed unhealthy grains. So grass-fed meat and pasture-raised chickens. Things, any animal that's allowed to graze and get their own food. That's the type of meat you should be eating. Plus, if you're going to eat fish, which I highly recommend, I would say fish that is wild caught, out in the Atlantic or Pacific Ocean.
Okay.
So those are the meats you should be eating, and then how much of it? Um, I'm not an authority on that.
Just like get
So
percent wise, like 80%, 60% of your diet.
yeah, I'm just trying to figure that out myself. So I'm going more towards 50 at the moment.
50. Okay.
I'm not. It's not a scientific thing for me. I haven't studied it. So the people I'm listening to are doctors that I'm listening to. They are gravitating more towards healthy meats, helping you to get over things like diabetes and gut related illnesses.
Okay. What I heard, what I heard with the dieting advice that I have.
Go ahead.
Sure. It's true. I need to tighten it. Maybe.
Who did you hear it from when you say I heard? I'm curious.
Like just around the block, I heard something. Andrew
No,
Tate.
not around the block.
Alright.
What kind of
Books
person?
and stuff.
What was
I
the
saw
authority this person
I
had?
saw Andrew Tate's diet or something somewhere. It's like he
He's
says.
not a medical person.
Yeah,
Is
but he
he?
is good. He is
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm
just.
interrupting. Okay, gotta stop. Go ahead. I'm sorry. What? Wyatt,
Okay.
talk.
He he's just a successful guy, so his advice does mean stuff, I guess. He has the like success to back it up. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're not gonna you see a really successful guy, you know he's not gonna be eating trash.
Mm-hmm.
So you know you can somewhat trust him, I guess. He talks about just how most of your diet should be meat, like
Mm-hmm.
steak, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Well.
And then the rest of it would to be like maybe vegetables and then just some carbohydrates.
Mm-hmm.
He says you should cut out fruit though because
Yes, I
fruit
agree
has a
with
ton
that.
of sugar in it. You could just cut out fruit entirely. It's useless.
If you want fruit, they recommend berries because they have the lowest amount of sugar.
He says you can get all your nutrients from just meat
You
or
can.
something. And then I don't know about vegetables. What was the best vegetables to eat?
So when you say that, I immediately think of low carb vegetables because you want to reduce your carbs. Cauliflower is good. Kale, spinach. Those are the. I think of cauliflower because you can use that as a substitute for other things if you love carbs. You love macaroni and cheese. You love pizza. You can use cauliflower as a substitute for pizza crust, as a substitute for pasta, things like that. That's why I say
Cauliflower.
cauliflower.
I heard Lex Friedman.
No. What did you hear
I'm
about?
kidding.
I don't know who Lex
I don't know.
Friedman is.
I saw one of his videos and he like for one of his meals he just put like ground beef and cauliflower and that's what he had.
I can see where that would be good because the cauliflower
What's
acts
so
like the pasta.
what's so good about cauliflower again?
It's nutritious, but it can also be used as a substitute for different types of carbs that you would like in your life. If you like pizza, you can make a pizza crust with cauliflower, cheese, cauliflower and cheese basically. And you can make a pizza crust with that. So those are two things that are healthy.
What other vegetables?
Well, green wise, I say kale and spinach are two green vegetables I personally eat.
Is that all you need?
No, I like salads, so I will add onions and peppers and garlic and those types of things. I'll throw them in a scrambled egg. All those things. So, yeah, but I've just started with what you're saying about meat, having your diet to be mainly meat. I agree, but I haven't figured it out yet. I just started listening to someone a couple weeks ago.
Who was this?
Um, you would ask me his name. I need my phone. But there were two doctors. Have a video. One of the doctors is talks about keto diet. But he, in addition to the keto, he was advocating meat, mostly meat. Then this other doctor, whose name I'll have to get for you because I can't recall it, he's a doctor, and then he himself was having gut problems. His wife had diabetes 1, and he was trying to help her, and he was a vegetarian. And he came to find out the vegetables were part of the problem with his gut issue. So he went back to school and got his master's. After becoming a doctor, he got his master's in nutrition. So I listen to people like that have the education behind them, and he has the experience. So now he's a meat advocate. And so his wife with her diabetes has been taken care of.
So vegetables was the problem?
When your body tries to digest a lot of vegetables, and he's not saying never eat vegetables, but that's all he was eating. His whole diet consists of vegetables, no meat. So he switched it over and did the opposite. Now it's mostly meat with some vegetables.
Okay.
So his digestive issues have been taken care of. Her diabetes have been taken care of. And now he talks to his patients and he guides them toward meat eating.
Okay. So, should you have vegetables or you should just...
Some, yeah. But, there are some people that's all they'll eat are vegetables. And, some, I guess they're healthy. I don't know.
What you just said proves they're not.
This is one doctor that gave me his experience. But there's a lot of people that are vegetarians and eat zero meat. So, but I don't know them personally.
Okay. And then stuff like, what did she say? Carbs? What?
Well, carbs, you need to get rid of as many carbs in your life as possible because that's sugar.
It is?
Yeah.
How about...
Body breaks it down. It's carbs do not assist your body.
So you could essentially, a healthy diet would consist of just
meat.
Like every day, like steak and...
It doesn't have to be steak. That's expensive.
Okay, just meat.
Ground beef.
Any meat in general.
Not any meat. No, pasture raised, grass-fed meat. There's a
organic
difference.
Meat, and then
no, not organic.
healthy.
There's a difference. pasture raised. Any animal that's out there feeding on the grass and everything in the field, they call that grass-fed. Grass-fed meat, pasture-raised eggs, chickens. So they're not being fed artificial things. They're eating. They're going out in the field and they're getting their food that way. The majority of it.
Okay.
Grass-fed meat.
Wild
Fish.
Do you need vegetables or can you cut them out entirely?
I don't know enough to say that. I would just say, yeah, I'm heading towards more meat, fewer vegetables. But no, okay. I wouldn't personally cut them out entirely for me.
So I have a question about, coffee, do you need coffee? Is there a difference? Because I feel like, do you build up a tolerance to coffee and then you're just drinking it to feel normal, like smoking? Or does it actually have change, there's their benefit versus not is it better to drink coffee versus not drink?
Again, I'm just a regular person. I love coffee. But I think I'd be a better person if I would learn to not drink coffee. I hate to say that because I like it too much. But I've heard that coffee is an antioxidant, so it could be good that way. It can be healthy that way, but I think we can abuse it. Um, but yeah,
No
I
coffee?
agree with you in that I think sometimes the more caffeine you take, then it takes more and more caffeine to help you wake up in the morning.
Hmm.
But if I had to make a judgment call just for me, I would say if I could, I should eliminate coffee. I've never done that. So I've heard that once you can get through not having coffee and depending on coffee, that you do get your energy back and you sleep better at night.
Okay.
But I'm not a nutritionist.
What do you do for exercise, like on a daily basis?
Oh, that's a bad question because I'm not doing much. Walking is, I do a little stretching in the morning and I stretch and then I walk. Not frequently enough. That's a real downfall in my life. Real weak area is my exercise regimen. I don't have one.
Okay. Well, what I started doing was
Right.
waking up and then in the morning going for, I thought, I heard Andrew Huberman talking about
Mm-hmm.
doing cardio for like 30 minutes a day or something
Mm-hmm.
as beneficial.
Right.
And then implementing like some weight training or resistance.
Weight training is necessary for especially old people like me.
And then, yeah,
Everybody.
so what I was thinking, do I go for my run, then I do some like push ups and pull ups and squats
That's great.
as my thing.
I need
I
to do
used to,
something. I haven't figured out what that something is yet.
I think for the upper body, all you really need is push ups and pull ups because
I can't do a push up.
you,
I'm weak. I'm weak.
there's special variations you can do.
Here it is. I'll tell you my push up is
You,
I hold on to the countertop and I put my feet out behind me and I do that kind of
I think you
push-up.
need to start doing push ups and pull ups.
I agree with you. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, there's old people who can do muscle ups.
But they didn't start that way. They started somewhere.
Like you can do the incline push ups where you're like
Right.
on surface
Yeah.
and then
That's what I do.
slowly build down to the floor.
I agree. But I'm not there yet.
You should just start trying.
Okay. I will. You mean just start on the floor?
I mean, no, just start working out. Make it a habit. Build the
I
habit of
know.
working
I
out every
know.
day
I know.
and stick to it.
I agree with that. But yeah.
What? Why can't you?
I'm not. No, I can. I can. If ideally, what I would like to do is meet with a personal trainer, have them evaluate me as a 73-year-old woman, and say, "Here's where you need to start." That's what I would like
I don't feel like you need a personal trainer.
to start with, to give me a framework. Because you are a 16-year-old young man who has different abilities than a 73-year-old grandma. So I would start in a different place than you would start, right?
Yeah, but I don't feel like you don't need a personal trainer. It's just basic
I said
exercise.
ideally that's what I would like.
Okay.
I'm not saying because then I would know, I would trust their judgment because they've dealt with people of various ages and they would not help me not to injure myself or to challenge myself appropriately. Also,
Okay.
that's just my
All you do
thought.
is walking, so.
That's basically, yeah. I should lift weights. I know that weight bearing exercise is very important.
Yeah, I heard. Did you perhaps see the book Never Be Sick Again? Because, like,
No.
Angela, I think, gave my mom it, or someone
Oh,
gave
never
my
be
mom the
sick
book.
again.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
What did they say?
he talks a lot about health stuff. He said
Are they talking about exercise or
there's
nutrition?
something there about, like, rebounding, like,
Oh yeah. Oh, that's another thing. I have a rebounder. I forgot about that.
what?
I have a rebounder. It's supposed to be good for. Oh,
A trampoline?
yeah. It's
Mini trampoline?
a mini trampoline. They call it either that or a rebounder.
Yeah, he said
Yeah.
that's, like, good exercise. Your body's like a water balloon or something,
Yeah.
and it helps, like, get your body moving or something.
Right.
Get blood moving everywhere.
Yeah. Um, your endocrine system. Anyway. It helps. Yes, to circulate. If you can do that, say first thing in the morning.
Hmm. Speaking of, what do you do first thing in the morning?
Drink coffee. I drink coffee. I try to wake up.
Why don't
I
delay your
read.
caffeine intake like Andrew Huberman?
Oh, ideally, I could do a lot of things, Wyatt. But you asked me what I do, not what I should do. So, do you want to know what I do?
Yeah, just continue.
Okay. So, I drink a cup of coffee and walk around to try and wake myself up. Do a few of my push up on the counter kind of things, stretch, just to kind of get my head awake. And then I will sit with my coffee and read. Usually I read my Bible or I'll read a devotion, both kind of thing. And then decide what I'm going to do for the rest of the day. That's how I start my day.
Okay, so what did you do for your? I forgot.
For what I get up, drink coffee, walk
Exercise.
around. Sometimes I'll actually jump on my rebounder for a few minutes. That helps to wake me
Have
up.
you ever thought of like getting sunlight first thing in the morning?
I have, and I haven't done it consistently, but yes, that would be very important. I should go outside every morning.
What time do you wake up?
Oh, you don't want to know that. Late. I am not a morning person. Uh, it depends if I have an appointment or if I just let myself wake up whenever. Between 7 and 8.
7, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, thereabouts.
I wake up around like that. That's what I have been waking up at. I tried to wake up. Normally I wake up at 5:30, but I've just
Really?
not. I've had trouble going to bed on time.
Getting enough
'Cause I'm
sleep.
obsessed with all my YouTube stuff.
Sleep is important. And so I have a Fitbit, and one of the main reasons I have it is to measure
Have you seen
my
like
sleep.
Have you seen like the aura rings you put on your fingers and like
I've
track
heard
your
of them.
sleep?
I've heard of them, but this gives me exact number of hours and minutes that I sleep. And then it also shows how good that sleep was. How REM sleep and light sleep and deep sleep. So I've been trying to get good sleep at night.
How many hours do you sleep a day?
Around 7.
7.
Sometimes as many as 8, but around 7's probably an average.
7's good.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Although
What are
they
your?
say 8.
Do you have any suggestions on how to get the best night of sleep? Like any advice, like stuff you do before bed, maybe.
I work on things. It's a constant battle with me. So
You try to like reduce light exposure before bed.
yes. I have blue light glasses, as
I
I
do.
hear you do also, but maybe don't use them every night.
Why?
No, well, I try to remember especially if I'm going to be watching a TV show or YouTube, to put on my blue light glasses at night. I've been trying to go to bed by 9. Um, do everything I need to do and not watch TV after 9. And even if I'm still up. Um, so I listen to whatever makes me calm down and not my brain going in all different directions. Because I have a tendency to do that. So I listen to a podcast that's very calming as I go to sleep. I do take a supplement, a sleep supplement.
Don't you feel like listening to the podcast before sleep would like get your brain all? Because that's the focus on it.
It's usually a calming. It's not information loaded. It's just someone who's talking to me about scripture or
What's scripture?
Bible.
Oh.
Godly things. It's a specific person. Her name she's not with us anymore, but Elizabeth Elliot. She's a lady that talks about how to be a godly person, or not being a godly person, just what God would like for us to do with our life. So she has a calming voice, and she's also, just for me, she relaxes me. And I'm thinking about God instead of things going on, and that's relaxing for me. So, and then having a dark room, it is good. No little bitty lights hanging around.
Have you ever thought of getting like a sleeping mask for that?
Sleeping mask?
Like,
Another thing I do. I tape my mouth every night.
Why? I do that too.
So that I won't snore, so I'll be a nose breather and not a mouth breather.
How long have you been doing that?
I'd say about 5 or 6 months.
Okay, it's probably the same as me.
Because I would wake up. I found out that I snored. I didn't know I snored. And so it's supposed to help with that.
I have that medical tape right there.
Yep.
I tape my mouth.
That's what I use. And because my mouth would get all dry from breathing with my mouth open, and I sleep better with my mouth closed.
Okay.
Some things I do.
Something.
It's not always 100% successful, you know. Like last night I woke up at midnight for whatever reason. I turned my podcast back on so I could relax my brain. And then I slept until 7:30.
Have you ever looked into lucid dreaming, like practicing your dreaming and like have you seen that stuff where you like lucid dream and you like have a dream journal or stuff? You're able to participate in your dreams, like
participate while you're sleeping?
Yeah, like a dream that you're aware of and you're able to influence it.
No.
Like you're awake right now, like doing that but in a dream, like being able to control.
How do you control your dreams?
You just, when you're aware that you're dreaming, you know you're in a dream.
Do you ever know you're in a dream?
Like sometimes I have lucid dreams. It's like when you're in a dream.
Describe lucid dream.
Lucid dream is when you're aware you're in a dream.
Okay, no, I'm never aware until after I wake up.
You're like in the dream, you're dreaming, and you're aware that you are dreaming.
No, so. I can't remember a time when I realized I was dreaming while I was in the dream. I had to wake up to realize. Sometimes they're so real, I think they're real and not a dream.
Well, the thing about, I tried lucid dreaming. I have my journal. I have a app on my phone, and when I wake up, I'll like voice type it into my phone and make the journal.
So, you wake up. You write down what you
dreamed of.
Remember dreaming.
And it's supposed to increase your dream recall, like how good you are at remembering what you had in your dream.
So recalling your dream, but do you actually know you're dreaming while you're dreaming?
Sometimes you can. It's just, that's the first...
Have you ever experienced, like you're in a dream, and you realize, Wyatt, you're dreaming.
Yeah.
You do know that? I've never experienced that. So you think by writing down what your dream was about?
Well, this is the first step in improving your dreaming skills and being able to lucid dream. That's what I think.
I'm not sure I want to. So you're trying to control the subject matter of your dream?
Yeah, I
Is
was
that
trying
your
to.
goal?
Hmm.
Don't know. Not my experience.
No.
No.
Okay. Let me go to the next topic. Let's. So, you watch a lot of YouTube daily.
Yes, I do. It's a form of TV for me. Instead of watching TV, I turn on YouTube.
Do you think people watching, consuming content is a problem?
Can be. Anything that you overdo, I think, can be. And for me, I can honestly say that it probably has become a time waster. Instead of getting up and doing something more productive,
Hmm.
I just, thumb through YouTube because it's interesting.
And so, what should I say?
But let's say you wanted to know how to, for instance, my car lights will pop up on it. And yes, I could look for the manual and try and find that out, but I'll just go to a YouTube and pop in the information about
Yeah.
what my car's doing. So if you use YouTube that way to gain information or skills or to know how to do something, I think it is very useful. But to just scroll through YouTube.
Yeah, people will go on YouTube and they'll consume content without using it. Just
That's true.
it's people like watching a podcast and just for the when you watch a podcast you feel like you've learned something. You feel like you accomplished something because you're learning new information. When the accomplishment part actually comes from applying the information you learn, not from people you get more dopamine from getting advice than you do from acting on it.
I can see where that could be true, yes.
And then so people just over consume advice without actually acting and using it, taking action, and nothing ever changes. They're just wasting their time in consuming content.
I mean, for instance, these two doctors that I listened to on eating more meat and how the diet has improved their health and patients' health. I may not act on it immediately, but it's there, and I'm beginning to think about it. So it's the other day when we went to Costco, all I bought was meat. So it was on my mind, although I do have some vegetables at home. But so I'm thinking of eating more meat. As to how I incorporate that into my life, I haven't quite figured it out.
Okay. So that's good. So I see you're very you know what it means to be articulate?
Yes, I know what that means.
What does it mean?
It means you can verbally explain something clearly.
Yes. What I see you're very articulate. How do you think you became articulate?
I don't think it depends on the time of the day. You call me late at night and I'm not articulate. Midday. How did it's not something that I consciously worked on. I like to, no, I'm not sure. Can't answer that. It's not something that I say, okay, I'm going to become articulate. even have an answer for that. I like to understand what other people say, so I would like people to understand what I'm trying to say. But it's not that I really worked on it. You try to talk to me after 8 o'clock at night, and I'm usually too tired to speak. Like when you called me. Anyway, we talked for a long time when the last time we talked on the phone. You recall that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was tired. I have no idea how I came across. I think you have become very articulate, actually, Wyatt.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How do you one become good at talking? Like a politician who's good at talking and getting his word across. He's like
Mm-hmm.
good. He has good charisma. How would someone get that way?
Practice, maybe? I can't really tell you. I think, I don't know if this would be the same topic or not, be, under articulation, but I think if a person tries to become a better listener to the person that they're talking to,
How would that make them? How
a better
how does that work?
speaker. Um, I don't know how it works. I just know if I'm listening to you and I know something I, is important to you, then I want to communicate to you, about whatever it is you care about or you want to understand or talk about. So I think being a good listener means something for concerning communicating, but how I guess maybe each person would have a different answer for that as to how they communicate. I think just doing it, it's not like I say, okay, I'm going to practice talking, but you just keep trying to communicate with people. Because I know, maybe you know this too, I know there are some people I have a much easier time communicating with than someone else. I might hear what they say, but take it the wrong way, not understand what they really mean. So sometimes it's personality, between, if you're just talking between, say, you and I, there's some types of personalities that I find an easier time to communicate with.
Okay.
I'm not sure I really answered your question, but
So you say communication starts with being good at listening.
I think so. That's my personal
Uh,
opinion. Be a good listener.
how do you become a good listener? What skills does listening require?
I'm working on that personally. So, have you ever heard of active listening?
Yeah.
Okay. So, to me, that's a real big thing. If you kind of feed the other person what you heard them say, so you know that you received what they wanted to say. Sometimes you just get it all wrong. And then you say, well, what I hear you saying is, and then you tell them what you heard them say, and sometimes they'll say, no, that's not what I meant at all. So, active listening, to become a good listener, patient, be willing. I have trouble sometimes of interrupting people when they're talking. So to try and learn to not interrupt a person, be patient, let them finish what they wanted to say. Those two things that I've personally been thinking about.
Okay. And then you know what charisma is?
To an extent, yeah. Just the Give me your definition.
I heard it somewhere. It's like your ability to influence somebody.
Yeah, I think that's part of it.
It's like without. It's the stuff you do beside when you're talking to someone. It's the stuff you do besides the
Yeah.
actual words and meaning you're saying.
Right.
Like what you do with your body. Like
Right. Body language.
I guess.
Right. Expression on your face.
Yeah.
Eye contact.
Mhm.
Let them know you're paying attention. Because if somebody, have you ever talked with somebody and you're talking to them and their attention is, you can tell, their attention is, they're not listening to you. So eye contact helps people know you're paying attention. And then active listening, saying something that they just said. Yeah, that is what I meant. That is what I said. And so, so charisma, part of it, I think, is what you said. Yeah, influencing people.
Mhm.
But part of influencing people is letting them know that you heard them and you care about what they're saying. You care about them as a person. At least making them feel that way. Hopefully you really care about them.
So I don't know about you, but do you know how to? Do you know how you implement charisma and like get good at say
No, I
get good
don't.
at say eye contact, get good at like get good at speaking maybe in a clear voice,
Okay.
having good body language.
Right.
You don't know how to get that?
I'm
What
just going to say again, practice.
practicing?
Knowing that that's something you want to work at. Here's what I do with a friend of mine. If there's for active listening, it's something that my friend and I are both working on. So I told her, whenever we talk, let's practice active listening. Or if we don't do it, tell the other person, you know,
Yeah, I heard that.
I wasn't doing a very good job of that. What could I have said to let you know I'm active listening? Whoops.
It's out of face.
Thank you.
So yeah, so the guy was watching for charisma. His name's
Mhm.
like Charlie. He has charisma on demand. He has his channel for charisma.
Charisma on demand.
Yeah.
That's a cool name.
And so he when he was talking about charisma, how you like implement the techniques, people go about they want to get good charisma and they'll go out and he in his channel he has tips on
Mhm.
what you can do to improve charisma,
Okay.
like eye contact and stuff, active listening,
Okay.
little techniques. And he talks about just implementing one technique at a time
Okay.
because if just focusing like for example going into a conversation when you want to practice a technique implement one just
one.
focusing on one technique
Yeah, I agree with that.
because if you try to focus on like eye contact body
I
language
know. It's
volume
too much.
you will live in your head, you won't be able to actively participate in the conversation.
Right.
But when you just focus on one thing at a time, you're able to just use that one thing
Right.
and actually be able to implement it.
I agree. One thing, for me anyway, I agree with that. One thing at a time. That's why the active listening
Mhm.
is something my friend and I are working on whenever we're on the phone, which is almost every day.
Almost. Do you go out often? Do you have like friends you hang out with normally in
I
your
don't
place?
go out
No?
as much as I would like to. I enjoy being outside because I enjoy God's creation, the sun and the mountain view that you have right outside this window, and the ducks. um, but I go to church on Sundays, and so I see people there, and we have talks, and I have my best friend that we talk to on the phone a lot. We used to do things together more, but she's quite busy with her grandchildren and her family. So we talk on the phone, check in, see how each other's doing, anything, you know, and we kind of bounce ideas off of each other.
Mhm.
Yeah. If I'm trying to figure out a issue, I'll probably call her and say, "What do you think about this?" So that's more of a phone call. Um, yeah. I'll go walking with certain people, and then we're talking the whole time we're walking. But I don't go out as much as I used to. Used to be involved a lot more than I am now.
And why do you think that is?
That is a good question. Well, when my husband passed away, which, you know, your grandpa passed away, I was busy with him prior to that, and so I got in a bad habit of staying home more because I was pretty exhausted from caring for him. And then COVID came, so that was a couple of years, 20 to 22. And I got in a bad habit of staying home more than I do getting out. So it's a habit that's been developed that I need to turn around.
Interesting. How do you? I don't know if you. How do you? Do you know anything related to habit creation? How would you so-called break your habit and actually go out more? What would you? What would be the first step? Why
I
haven't
need
you?
help with that. So I'm I've had different thoughts on it. I'm no expert. I need an expert to talk to me about it. But the thoughts I've had is just every morning, no matter how I feel tired, because I'm usually tired, is just walk out the door, put clothes on, for instance, get dressed, put your shoes on before you don't even think about it. Just get my clothes ready the night before, put them right there at the foot of my bed. And before I have time to think about coffee, put clothes on and walk out the door. That's a thought I've had. I have not implemented it yet.
What?
I think about it a lot, but I haven't done anything about it.
Why?
Why? Could be laziness. That could be a part of it. Yeah. I don't know exactly. Um, I think it would help me to do that, but it would be have to. I would just have to decide, like cold turkey, like getting in your ice bath. Don't even think about it. Just take a breath and do it. I think that's the way I have to do it, but I haven't really.
I think your discipline is lacking because
I
that's
agree.
what those things require is
I
discipline.
agree. I agree with you totally. My discipline is lacking.
Discipline.
So what do I do to get that discipline, to kick myself and get myself out the door without even saying, "Oh, let me have a cup of coffee first.
So so
Oh, let me read my devotion first." And then it gets too late in the day and I think, "Oh no, I should get this task done." So I think first thing in the morning, without giving it a thought, is I've thought about it, but not implemented it. Maybe I've done it once or twice.
yeah. So the way I saw this thing on the internet, it's like
Mm-hmm.
discipline is the thing between goals and reward or something.
Hmm.
It's what gets you there.
I don't know how. You'll have to explain that a
But
little bit
so
more.
you're not disciplined enough to actually go outside and do something because of
Mm-hmm.
how you feel in the moment. You feel tired.
I
You
go with my
feel
feelings more.
yes. You
Yeah,
need to. So Andrew Tate he talks about acting regardless of how you feel.
I agree with that.
Like
That's what I haven't.
you don't let your emotions control you. You let your you go through your day and you do everything in your day.
Mm-hmm.
You with your mind you go through the same day and everything you want to do regardless of how you're feeling.
Hmm.
You don't
Do you have to plan it the day before
No.
ahead of time?
Just like, for example, one day I do the same things every day, regardless of how I feel.
Okay, so you have a schedule.
Hmm.
This is what I'm going to do when I open my eyes. This is what I'm going to do before I have my first cup of coffee. Things like that?
No, it's just
No.
everyday things.
Well, these are everyday. If I want to take a 20-minute walk every morning,
Hmm.
no matter how I feel.
Hmm. You need to start build. You need to start. I think you need to, for discipline, you need to start small.
Go
Because
ahead.
like anything, if you're, I don't know if you play video games. If you're in a video game,
No, I want to walk out the door and take a 20-minute
no, I'm
walk in
comparing
the
it to video.
sunshine.
I'm comparing it to video
Okay,
games.
okay.
In a video game, you need to, like, you need to start small, start leveling up. When you're first starting out, you need to kill, like, start leveling up, killing the small chickens, and then you're able to progressively tackle bigger things and bigger bosses.
Got it.
In like a video game, you level up. You need to level up your discipline skill, and by doing that, you need to start completing small things that require
Okay, so
discipline.
you're me.
Yeah.
Put your mindset, you're me.
Yeah.
You wake up. You're exhausted. You can barely get your eyes open. How do I level up?
First thing you should do every day is make your bed.
I've been doing that since I've been here. Not
So you
at
need
home,
to. Yeah, I think Jordan Peterson was the guy who made this popular. You make your bed every day, regardless of how you feel, regardless.
Okay.
Because some days you don't want to make your bed,
Exactly.
so it takes discipline. You make your bed, and one way you can start leveling up your discipline.
I could get dressed every day. First thing, well, I get dressed every day, but first thing,
Say
make my bed, get dressed.
every day.
Is that leveling up?
Yeah, if you don't want to do it and you do it anyway, that's
Yes.
leveling up your skill.
Okay.
Start. One thing I would say, start doing something every day that sucks.
I was getting ready to say something you don't want to do.
Like do something. Start your day off by doing something that sucks. For me, that's an ice bath.
Ah.
That increases my discipline.
Okay.
I'd never want to do an ice bath, but I do it anyway,
Okay.
and that increased my discipline.
Did you do an ice bath this morning?
No.
Well, you were wrestling all day yesterday.
I was
give you a
occupied
bye.
yesterday, but today I couldn't do it.
Okay.
I might do it. I will do it. Okay, so just doing everything you did, doing stuff that sucks. You need to start leveling up that skill.
Right.
Start callousing your mind, like David Goggins. David Goggins is the master of discipline. He can go run 200-mile races.
Okay, I can't deal with somebody that can do that. I need somebody more on.
No, but he's an expert. That's what I'm demonstrating.
I hear you. I hear you. It's
And-
just it overwhelms me to think of somebody that can do that.
So you need to
Small.
doing stuff that sucks. For example,
One thing.
yes.
Just do one thing first thing in the morning that you don't
You,
want
like
to do.
like after this podcast, for example, you need to start here. There's this thing, the 4 elements of the G mindset,
Okay.
which will help you build a disciplined mindset. The
All
first
right.
one to implement is to, I'll write these down. The 4 elements. The first element is your word has to be iron-willed. You have to mean everything you say. So if you say I'm gonna go run a mile today, you have to do it. You always have to do exactly what you say you're going to do.
Here's my problem.
Yeah.
I know that, so I don't say I'm going to do it.
Well, you need to start saying stuff.
So because I don't want to not do what I say, so I don't say.
Start saying stuff.
I know. That's the beginning for me.
For example, say that you are going to go do. Say I'm gonna go do 20 push-ups. Like, say out loud. I'm gonna go do 100 push-ups. Go say something, and then start meaning it. Start backing it up. It's like currency in the bank, you know. like money means stuff because there's gold to back it up, I guess. That's
Right.
how money kind of works.
Right.
Your thing, you have no prior tasks accomplished to back up your word, so it's not going to mean anything.
That's true.
Start adding stuff to it. Start adding tasks like back it up, 10
I'm going
push-ups.
to make my bed every morning.
Well, can you do that every morning?
Can
Are
I?
you
Yes.
going to do it every morning?
I'm using that as an example of one small thing I could
Yes.
start
You
there.
say it out loud and then you do it.
Right.
For example, say you could do just practicing. That's the first one.
Okay. Say it out loud.
Be a man of your
The
word.
Bible says, "Let your yes be yes and your no be no."
Yes. Man of your word.
Man of your word, or
And-
woman of your word.
Okay, I think the next one was. Let's see. No one's coming to save you. You're the man. What was one? Get angry at your situation. So next one you have to do is say that you be pissed off. You don't have the life you want. You do not say to yourself you don't have the life you want to have, and that's making you're angry. You don't have the life you want, and because anger is a strong force, you know.
Is it the only thing you can use? Anger?
Well, it's just
It's strong. I hear.
anger. Start getting angry at yourself. Start getting pissed off because, like, you say you're gonna do stuff, then you never do it. You never do anything you say. You like get pissed off. I I don't have the life I want. My life sucks. I want get pissed off, and then channel that anger towards accomplishing your tasks.
Okay.
So say I don't have the life I want. Get angry
Okay.
at yourself.
I've heard it also said that if you get uncomfortable enough
Yeah.
with the results of doing nothing, then you will make a change.
Yeah, because that's the secret to unlimited motivation. If you is the secret to unlimited motivation is actually wanting something enough. Because if you truly want it enough, you will do it.
Right.
Like if you wanted a strong body, per se, you would spend all your time would be spent, all your waking hours would be spent thinking of working out, getting strong. You would not be able to sleep because you'd be so hyper obsessed
That's
with
a
working
little
out.
too obsessed.
But just saying, if you wanted,
you would work.
if you
on
want
it.
something enough, you're going
Yeah.
to get it. So if you're like a fat person, you're lazy, you just don't want it enough. You need to want it more.
Could be other reasons
It's like
that happens in some people's lives. So.
if someone told you to go lay on a freaking bed of hot ashes, you're gonna be uncomfortable enough to move.
That part's true. Yes.
So that's the same logic here.
Right. That's what if you're yes. Those words are.
You have to tip the
you
scale.
aptly explain that. Yes.
Okay, and the next one is to realize that nobody's ever coming to save you.
Right. You have to do it yourself.
Nobody can pull you out of bed, make you work hard at something, make you work hard every day,
Right.
track your stuff, help you. No one even cares. Not even the closest person you have that cares about you. Like, per se, my mom.
Yep.
She cannot even do that for me.
No.
No
You
one-
have to decide for yourself.
No one can want it enough for you.
Right.
So, you're the only person that can help you
Can make
get
the-
what you want.
You're the only one that can make the change. Right.
No one can want something enough. No one can. No one's gonna care about you enough as much as you're gonna have to care
Right.
about yourself
Exactly.
to get the life you want.
I agree.
No one's. And then you have to start thinking that you can accomplish anything you put your mind to. if you wanted to. Anything you are start thinking you're the man, you can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not the man right now, you will be.
You can be, right?
You will be.
Mm-hmm.
Start thinking that way. And then that's the elements to the mindset that's going to get you disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
The first. So if you implement those, it will change the way you view your world,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll start to truly implement them. Will change your view of the world, and you will become a more disciplined person
Mm-hmm.
implementing these things. So, yeah, becoming disciplined requires those four elements.
All right.
Okay, and then let's talk about something else. What do you think, outside of religion,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think, what is your purpose of life? What's driving you? Are you a driven person?
No. The only thing when you say religion, I would like to change that word. Because religion is man's thinking about God. And I'm driven, if you want to use that word, more about what God thinks of me than I am about anything.
What makes you do the things you do?
God being pleased with me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not 100% at all. It's nowhere near. I would like it to be 100%. But my desire is to please God.
So the
With
purpose
my
of life,
life.
the purpose of life is to please God.
Yeah, yeah.
Is he pleased?
Sometimes. Sometimes. You know, it's a work in progress. So, but then in that same vein would be to love others, to love my family, and not it just to be a word, but to be an action. So that's why I'm here, actually. Here in Pine Valley, California.
So you become a man of your word, you came over here.
To love my family more.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're a part of my family. So that's what drives me most of the time.
How about-
Sometimes I just get lazy and do nothing.
What makes you lazy?
Oh,
If you're
what makes me is I'm tired. I have things, reasons, but I had to push myself to get to church this morning because I woke up exhausted. I always wake up tired, so just put one foot in front of the other. Drink my coffee, stretch, keep moving until I get out the door. Getting out the door for anything is difficult for me, but what drives me emotionally and mentally and every other way. I want to be physically in good shape, but that's so that I can hopefully serve God better. If I'm sick and weak, then I can't do much for anybody, right?
Mhm.
So that's what drives me.
Are you are you for yourself or for others?
Well, I'm sure a lot of times I'm for myself. When I stay home and don't go anywhere, I just go, well, I feel like just vegging, just watching a video, just, you know. But I would like to be more for others. But I'm basically selfish, I guess. I don't want to be that way, but I think we all are to some extent.
Yeah, we have to be. We are people.
Yeah. So, I mean, I
Everyone's-
want to care about others. I want to care about others more than I do myself. But it's a daily task, a daily job to think about, and to work on. We're always working on ourselves, right?
Mm.
So that's one area that I want to continue to work on, to care more about others than I do about me.
what has it been like for you going out of your comfort zone? Like trying new things
I
and
don't do that very well, Wyatt.
you know.
No, I don't. I stay in my comfort zone too easily. Walking out the door sometimes is a task. I know that doesn't sound like something that should be a task, but sometimes it is. Once I'm out, I'm much better. It's just opening the door, getting dressed, getting out the door. That's a battle sometimes for me. I know. Sounds funny, huh? Like, how could that be? But, so getting out of my comfort zone would be to say yes to a responsibility and follow up and do it.
How what do you think you could do? How could you get out of your comfort zone more?
I don't know. I'd have to. Can you tell me that? To choose, maybe to choose one thing. I don't have anything in mind right now. But to choose one thing and decide then that I am going to say yes and do it on a regular basis. Like helping in the church nursery or something. They need people to help out with the small children and the babies while parents go to church. So, to be responsible, like you said, in one of your...
I think getting out of your comfort zone comes back to the discipline argument.
It does. I agree with that.
So you need to work on discipline, I guess, to get out of
agree
comfort
with
zone.
that. I agree with that. So maybe if I get more disciplined in my everyday getting out the door, walking 20 minutes, making my bed, getting dressed first thing in the morning, go outside for 20 minutes, take a walk no matter how I feel like it, getting the sun, and doing that every day would help me to be more responsible in other areas.
So you just gotta practice discipline. It's like anything in life. It's a skill.
I agree.
And it requires practice to build it.
Right.
So my question is to you, what are you gonna do after this podcast? Start building your discipline.
Well, I am, since I've been here, I've made my bed every morning. So maybe if I would continue that process by getting dressed first thing in the morning and go take a 20-minute walk. May not seem like
That's a good
much
start.
for other people, but for me, it would be major. That could be a start. Not the finish line, but the start.
Starting tomorrow,
Okay.
let's say, starting tomorrow, every day, your goal is gonna be to make your bed and go for a 20-minute walk.
Well, I have to get dressed first.
I guess.
Sometimes I laze around in my pajamas for an hour.
Make that, if you can start doing this thing every day of making your bed, getting dressed, and going for the 20-minute walk.
Yes, I think that's...
Over time, it will build your discipline, and you'll be able to do an even harder thing.
I agree.
And this will propel your life to becoming what you want, getting that discipline.
I agree. Sounds good.
So you need to focus, most of your effort should be focused towards these things.
Yep. Yes, sir.
So I hope you will on doing that.
I'll let you know.
We'll see. It all starts with the small things.
Small things, yes.
Yeah, I think discipline has like exponential growth. You get
I
slowly
agree.
get up.
Yes. Start simple.
Yes. Okay. What do you think of ice baths?
I think I would
Would
never
you ever
want
do
to
one?
No, the closest I ever came to that was turning on cold water in the shower.
Did you go in the cold water?
It didn't last long.
Get my cold.
It was for a brief moment. I do better if I start warm and then incrementally go colder. If it's in the summer, of course, it's easy, but now, January, it's not easy to go cold. No. I've heard it's very good for you, but I have no desire to take an ice bath.
Okay, I'm at the end of my podcast questions, I guess.
All right.
Can you interview me?
Now or later?
I guess we can take a break.
I think we should take a break. It's been a pleasure, Wyatt.